sign talent like Stormzy, Wizkid, Tiny Temper. The whole passion thing is great, but your passion can't just be a passion. It has to generate some form of great income. 40, 50,000
A post.
a post, yeah.
Wow.
You should always be yourself. Don't try and be someone else, because that's what I was doing at the beginning, and I struggled like mentally. Like, my name's Shaman Akabi. I am a VP at Wasserman under the brand partnership side of the business. Growing up, so I grew up in a really strict Yoruba household. I'm from a family where there's a lot of females, and it's very female heavy. We've all got very like strong personalities. I grew up with my mum. My mum studied media, so she went straight into. She used to work for like TVAM, and then she went to work for the BBC. Yeah, we're just a family of where you can't really fail, really.
Yeah.
So that was it. But I was raised, even though I was born and bred in London, I was raised in a very like Nigerian way, like sink or swim, can't fail, go to school, read your books. But I got into a lot of trouble. I was bad. So basically, it was one of those situations. I think I was like 16, and my mum was like, "Oh, we're going to Nigeria on holiday," and she left me. She left me out there for like 3 years. I did 3 years. My younger brother did like, I think he did 6 or 7.
Was there anything that you took from being in and living in Nigeria for 3 years that you kind of brought back to the UK or wherever else you've been based in the world?
Yeah, I think before I went, I really didn't really know that much about my culture. Well, I mean, I understand Yoruba, I understand Undu, I can't speak it, but I understand it. Food, yeah, but in terms of like the culture, not really. So I brought back the respect. I value and appreciate life even more. And I built some like really great friendships. Like 3 of my best friends we went to boarding school together. So yeah, we still keep in touch. I'm godmother to their kids and stuff like that. You just appreciate life more. And also, because when you go to school in Nigeria, if you don't pass, you repeat that whole year. So it kind of pushes you, because the last thing that you want is for you to repeat and then your peers go before you and then you are held back. So it almost feeds you with that thing of like, you don't want to fail, like you want to do well. So I think I came up with that mindset that everything that I do, actually I want to do it very well.
Wow.
From a young age, like looking back at like probably like photos when I was like 5 or 6. My mum showed me a photo actually last year, and I was wearing a fur coat, tracksuit bottoms, and shoes.
Wow.
And that's literally now. I was always into fashion. Like my mum used to buy me like Burberry little trench coats. I was into rib. I was always into fashion. So growing up, I think it was one of those things where, even though in our family we either study like media, law, accountant, my mum is quite a modern woman. So she was basically like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And she's always been fine with it.
Okay, and I guess could you, even to like inspire the next gen, because there's people today that might want to be doing what you're doing now. And if there's any like game you can give them in terms of like the process.
I shopped around in terms of experience and my roles, and I was never in a role and thought to myself, oh, I've been doing this for so long, so I have to stay in this. So my background, I started off in manufacturing. So I used to work for companies that manufactured product for brands. Then it was like Topshop, ASOS. We used to do like Topshop and ASOS. It's like leather belts, PU bags. I was more interested on that side. Then I went into retail, into like the merchandise inside. And I worked for BHS under like the franchise side. And then I kind of fell into the brand space by default. I went for an interview at Calvin Klein. Didn't think I was going to get it. I just thought, let me just go for the interview. And me and the woman, we just hit it off. She said I come across as a very strong female. And that was it. That's how I went into the brand side. But then I was still thinking about, I'm not really interested in this part because I see a finished product. I was more interested in what I just came from.
Mm.
Then I went to work for Swarovski, but I wasn't just working for Swarovski, I was working under the element side of things. So brands and companies that produce products with Swarovski crystals.
Okay, that's interesting.
So that I enjoyed, and there was a guy that I worked with there. He got headhunted by an agency, and then we were close. He left Swarovski, went to work for the agency, and he called me up one day. He was like, "Oh mate, do you want to come and work with me?" And I was like, "Doing what?" And he was like, "Working with talent." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "With famous people." And I was like, "What would I do?" And he was like, "Oh, what you did before, like people that want to create their own brands." And I was like, then I can go back into CVC. I went back and forth until I was happy. And that's when I then fell into the talent side. But then talent side, that was a mixture of talent and licensing. So that's when I learned about the licensing side of the business. And then that's when I then went into like the modeling side. And then now I'm based on like the music side.
Wow. So I guess even taking it a step back, if you were to give, because that's interesting how you've gone back and forth and then you've gone to different kind of elements, but
they're still in the
done,
same.
it's in the same vein. It's all in the same ecosphere.
Yeah.
And then I guess if there were any gems you could give, would you almost? Is there anything in terms of like relationship? Because you said it's someone that you knew that you worked with in the past that kind of like brought you into this other situation where it's because of your previous experiences.
Yeah.
If you were to speak to like the younger gen, or like if you're going to speak to someone, is there anything relationship based, or is there anything that you can kind of like?
Relationships are very important, and I've always been me. I think having a mother that raised me as a single parent, but then my mum has always had a 9 to 5. She's always worked in the media industry. So I think at first I kind of struggled being me, having disagreements but not knowing how to resolve them in like a professional way, like getting angry. And I remember my mom saying to me, like, make up your mind. If this is what you want to do, it's going to get harder. So just be you, but in a professional manner. Like, no one's telling you to change, but that's what I was fighting with. Like, I remember I'd be in meetings and I'd be overthinking, do I talk? Do I keep quiet? If I say this, am I being myself? And then I just stopped overthinking. And I was just me. And then I realized that was being me was what people enjoyed. So it was easy to be around talent, for instance, because I would talk to them about anything, whereas other people around them would be really like, oh my God, they're famous. But I've just kind of looked at them like, we're both human. We're saying the only difference is that you just got more money than me. That's basically it. So I've always had that personality where I speak my mind. I am polite. I am very professional. But the advice that I can give is that you should always be yourself. Don't try and be someone else, because that's what I was doing at the beginning. And I struggled like mentally to cope with the fake version of me that I was trying to bring into the room. Whereas when I brought the real me, it was just much easier. Like after a while, the longer you spend it in the industry, the real you, it polishes up a bit, you start to change. But don't go into different rooms and be a different person, because you're not going to be able to keep up. It's hard. Hard work. When I was on the retail side, and I was like bored, I was doing the merchandising and the numbers, I'm like, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. And I'd like meet people in the head office and, how long have you been working there for? 40 years. And I'd look at them thinking, I don't want to be that person. I want to see the world, I want to see more. Then when I went onto the talent side, I was like, this is a lot.